at the end of our 2 hours together. What we don't often hear, though, is that my pick of the show has such low quantities, but that's kind of the case this time as we're winding down our gardening season. Oh, and they smell so
Aren't they
pretty,
awesome?
too. I want to put one in my
Speaking
hair. Speaking of color, which really we'll be talking about throughout the entire 2 hours together, this is the 3-piece Red Riding Hood collection. It's a Penstemon collection, and you're getting 3 colors in this selection. Now, I understand, because Philip told me, that this is one of the toughest perennials that exist. So in other words, if you tend to be on the neglectful side with your plants,
Yes.
it's okay here.
It happens. Also, if you're in an area of the country that's getting drought, these will stand drought, and that's what I like about them too. A lot of people are not as fortunate as we are, if you want to look at it that way, where it rains every day.
Yep.
But
I have a hard time looking at it that way. But
these are extremely cold hardy. They're also heat tolerant as well. If you can plant this between roots and high canopy shade. I've got mine between silver maple roots, and nothing sucks up water like a silver maple.
Root.
And these keep going right on. You're getting the 3 colors. This is a representation of what you can expect to have in your garden. But these gorgeous colors of the beautiful cobalt blue. You've got a nice hot pink color here, and you've also got a shell pink. This is like the inside of a conch shell. I love these. They've got wiry stems, which means that they're great for cut flowers.
And really, when do you ever see a blue, even remotely like this, in anything besides something that just pops up for a couple of weeks out of the year and then goes away, right?
Exactly, and like what you said, popping up just for a couple of weeks in springtime. These are colors that you see in hyacinths.
Yes.
Which are spring blooming. I've seen hyacinths in all 3 of these colors, but not so much a perennial that's going to bloom during the course of the summer.
Exactly. So what a great way to get instant color, fast growing. This is $34.40. By the way, anytime you pick up any of our plants here at QVC, you'll see that the shipping and handling is included. And that's important because the price you see is the price you pay. And even with the plants, remember, you don't just have Cottage Farms backing, you've got 30 days to love it or return it as well. And I understand the longer you have these, the bigger and more flowers you get year after year.
They do, and they've colonized in my garden. And actually, you see the foliage down below, that beautiful foliage there? That persists during the course of the winter. So you always see where it is. A lot of perennials completely go away in the wintertime. These don't, and we've had a brutal winter here. Mine are still looking good out there. They're going to perform this year. I planted a still bee, which is also known as feather flowers, and they bloom in early summer or late spring, early summer, just before these start. So they're good companion plants. If you've already got a still bee plants, this is a good thing to add in with those.
This is great, and I love the fact that you get such an, it's kind of like an instant gratification here. Now, I know you're going to show us what we get when it ships to us. We already see what we can expect.
Here you go. This is the way they'll arrive to you. Each one will be labeled. You see, you've got a nice root zone already. Don't plant it any deeper than it is. I planted mine about 2 feet apart. These do get 2 to 3 feet tall, so expect big things out of these. You don't have to stake them because they've got the wiry stems.
But look how dense the florals are. So there's no bare patches. Philip, I love that you said that this is going to be drought resistant. I know that there are a lot of areas of the country that are suffering from pretty severe droughts right now, and it's, you know, water restrictions, but the fact that you're able to still enjoy this in virtually every part of the country is great.
Right, that's the trick. We've also got some succulents coming up later, in our hens and chicks that are coming up later, which would be a good thing for drought people.
That'd be great. This is great. So same questions here then. Sunshade, does it matter?
I have mine in dappled shade.
Okay.
They're fantastic in full sun. I had them in dapple shade because the rest of the yard was already full. But this is in under high canopy shade of my big maple trees, and they performed like Trojans there. They absolutely carry on. And I like the fact that I didn't have to stake them. That didn't have to mess around with them, and they do look like perennials. You know, some perennials look like annuals to me. These looked natural in the garden. And as I mentioned, I planted them with my stilby plants. Say if you had hyacinth bulbs in your garden, these are the same colors. You could have your hyacinths to start the season too. I'm all about color coordinating the garden.
I mean, think about picking up more than one set of these if you're really kind of married to one particular color and you want to have that kind of flanking a walkway, or maybe you just love the randomness of the different colors. How often do you see the ability to pick up something like this kind of an impact at this kind of a price, at $34.40, I think would be a great price for just getting one of these, but you get all 3 colors.
You get all 3 colors with that beautiful foliage down there and those spikes that come up. The spikes, they stand up a little bit like salvias, but salvias don't come in these really rich colors. And as I mentioned, exceptionally winter hardy. They will take the heat. They will take the drought, and they are a particular favorite of hummingbirds. There's the fertilizer that you would use, our Bud and Bloom booster right there, customer top rated, no measuring, no mess, and no dirty fingers.
Oh, yay.
You know, I'm always like, it's like, okay, where's the measurer?
Yeah.
Or where are the directions? You can't find it. You know that one of those packets goes in a gallon of water. That's all you need to know.
You get 100 gallons in that. I'm sure that's part of the reason people get excited about it, but they're hugely popular and top rated because of the results that you can get, because you want to feed your plants as much as you water them, give them love. And this is the kind of, how long before I see something like this?
You'll have blooms this year. Second year, you'll have this sort of look.
Ooh, this is great.
And mine have been in now for 3 years, and I love them because a lot of perennials, they come and they go.
Right.
And a lot of annuals you got to plant every year. I know that I can count on these regardless of how bad the winter was or how dry the summer was.
Isn't that
if I
great?
forget to water these, they don't die.
$34.40. Shipping and handling is included. You get all 3 color choices here, and it is for virtually every part of the country. And remember, all of your plants will ship specific to your zone as well. But once you have them, it really is worry-free. It's M26755. I love to call this a great starter set for those of you who may be picking up something from Cottage Farms for the very first time. But for those of you who've been tuning in for years, then you already know. It comes with a lot of backing behind it, low maintenance and care is required, but beautiful, impactful blooms nearly right away.